Man, oh man, what's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got a spectacular knockout by Tank Davis. He done knocked out Frank Martin, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man. So first and foremost, let me just state this, man. In the beginning of the fight, obviously, Tank Davis was giving away a lot of the rounds. He was putting on pressure. He was the aggressive fighter, but he wasn't putting on effective aggression. And if you guys don't know what that means, it means basically he was putting the pressure on Frank Martin, but Frank Martin was basically, changing up the different levels of his jabs, basically boxing and moving and whatnot. And he was able to get away. And he was actually walking Tank into a few shots and whatnot. But Tank continued to apply the pressure, and you could see that Tank was getting closer and closer to Frank Martin or whatnot. But it was. I thought Frank put up a good fight. I thought Frank was doing a good job with boxing with Tank or whatnot. But the thing is, Frank continued to allow Tank to walk him down, and Frank would place himself in the corners, which would allow Tank to, that's when Tank tees off. It's like Tank could give away rounds because it's almost like it's hard for him to find the openings or whatnot. Let's see what Tank got to say though real quick. See what Tank got to say, man.
421 days off and you picked up almost where you
Tank got ready. He got caught a few times though.
But it's okay, I'm back.
Were you rusty? Did you feel it, or were you just feeling him out?
I feel as though that I ain't warm up completely like how I wanted to. But I did warm up, but I got cold as the fight was going on before me.
Yeah.
But it's okay, no excuses.
Basically, Tank is saying, it was a little bit of a ring rust.
No, his footwork.
Now Frank had good footwork, but Tank was able to cut the ring off very effectively. Tank was putting on great aggression. It just wasn't effective because Tank wasn't doing anything at first. But I guess Tank was just allowing.
The monitor. It was a bit of a target. Is it hurting right now?
Yeah, it's a little like a little charge, but I'm okay. It come with the sport.
Let's jump in and take a look at this.
Oh my goodness! And they got so it was the 8th round or the.
Start to figure out.
Oh man, so yeah, caught him with a straight left, and that's all she wrote. Tank was out. Frank was out after that. I think it was an uppercut that set it up. Frank put himself in the corner. Tank, once he put himself in the corner, Tank, shot right, and then threw the hook, and then the uppercut is what dazed Frank, and then Frank's hand, like the uppercut dazed Frank, and Frank was like, his hands was just low. It was a free shot. It was literally a free shot, and Tank threw the left hand, and that's all she wrote. Frank was out on it with his eyes open.
Really, do you feel that these guys can compete with you once you get into the later rounds?
I don't know till they get in there with me, but I've been around for a long time. I've been training since I was 7 years old, competing since I was 8. You know what I mean? So it just it comes with, it's like second nature. You know what I mean? So it's just about staying focused, make sure my mind is on the goal, and that's always to come out on top.
You've said this week, and you've said to me tonight, that what you went through, the incarceration, you're a better person.
Tank is still talking about.
Just patience and things like that.
That was a good performance, man. Sorry, man, hearing what Tank got to say, man. It was a good, man. I hope y'all can hear some of it, but I can't play like it completely because they'll get me for copyright. But man, it was a really good fight, man. It was Tank. I thought Tank did well. Tank has been calling out Lomachenko. They're asking him who's next.
What would you like to do, and how soon would you do it?
Most importantly, I want to just, get back to the drawing board, get back in the gym, and just stay focused. I felt that I was a little rusty, but all them guys is, on my radar. And most importantly, I want to thank everybody that came out, everybody that tuned in.
Yeah. So they asked him about Frank. He asked him about Lomachenko, Pitbull, and Shakur Stevenson. I want to see him and Lomachenko, bro. I want to see him and Lomachenko. and you know he did. You know, I know you saw him and Tank Davis and Errol Spence go back and forth, but he did go and shake Errol Spence's hand one night.
Yeah, we should.
Frank, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You were doing really well, taking the early round.
Talking to Frank now,
Tremendous. Did you feel like
and Frank said he's doing good.
I felt like
He feels good.
I was in control. Then got a little too comfortable. You know, I got comfortable chilling on the ropes.
He put himself on the ropes, but he allowed Tank to walk him down. That was a big problem.
You know, once I stopped doing my movement.
So that was on him.
Once I stopped, you know what I mean?
But
My thing, you know, he got off more shots on me.
Was your success or your feeling of success the reason you got comfortable?
No, I wouldn't say it was I wouldn't say it was like me feeling.
But see, that's the thing with Tank, man. Like Tank, it wasn't so much of what Frank was doing. It was just what Tank was just allowing. Like Tank was just allowing him to tee off or whatnot at times, and he was changing the angles very well. Frank was. He was changing the angles in the direction of his punches. It was very well. But the thing about it is, Tank was just you could see like probably like around the 4th or 5th round, Tank was just getting closer and closer and letting his hands go more, and you could just see, and like Frank would just place himself on the ropes. Frank Martin placed himself on the ropes, man, and it was almost just like he didn't know how to get away from Tank at that point, man, and Tank just set him up. He just set him up, man.
You know, they always say they've been telling me, you know, the shots you can't see is the ones that come from underneath, and that's the shot he landed, you know, and he came over the top with that left.
Frank, appreciate your time. I'm glad you're okay.
But I think Frank will be back, bro. I really do. I think Frank will be back, bro. He displayed great boxing, bro. He displayed great boxing, bro. And I see him having some success at 135, bro. I think he should stay. I think he should continue to compete, bro. Get a comeback fight, and then, bro, like I think he can beat some of these guys, bro. I do. I think he could beat some of these guys, man. Cause this was he displayed a good, you know, he displayed some good boxing, but he just allowed Tank to get the better of him, man. But like I said, with Tank now, bro, it's ready for Tank. I'm ready for Tank and Lomachenko, bro. That's the fight I want. You know, Frank Martin's never been knocked out before, never been knocked down before, and Tank just stopped that in one night. So I'm ready to see him against Lomachenko. I don't really care for him versus Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson, I mean, I don't know. I just think I don't really care for that fight, bro. But I want the Lomachenko fight. If you're gonna stay at 135, we need to see Tank versus Lomachenko. They need to try to make that fight next. That's a good fight.
He's so much more than that.
But oh yeah, and then Brian Custer is saying, but basically what I've always said, I've always felt Tank was a better boxer than what was given credit for. But anyways, man, look, it was a good night, man. I was very, very heartbroken by Gary Antoine Russell, man. You know, Alberto Puello, you know, pretty much he didn't outclass, because it was a very, very, very close fight. Could have went to Gary Antoine Russell, but Alberto Puello just he outboxed him. He kind of finessed him in ways or whatnot. Also, man, David Benavidez, man, moving up. Alexander Volstik, bro, look, like that was the first time in my life I've ever seen David Benavidez, the smaller man in the ring, bro. That was crazy to see. I did not, that was the first time I ever seen David Benavidez, the smaller man. But it was his first fight at 175. You know, Alexander he beat Alexander Volstik very easily or whatnot. He caught him with some very good shots. I ain't gonna say easily, but he made it look easy. But couldn't get him away or whatnot. But it was, it was a dominant performance by David Benavidez or whatnot. And then obviously in the first fight with Carlos Adames. Carlos Adames was having a little issues with Terrell Gausha, but I thought he won the fight pretty comfortably or whatnot. So all in all, it was a great night of boxing, man. I was 3-1. The only prediction I had wrong was Gary Russell and Alberto Puello. I picked Gary Russell to win that fight, but I was wrong. I got David Benavidez right, Carlos Adames right, and Tank Davis right. But we all knew that they were gonna. So it's nothing really to brag about. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Who do you want to see each fighter fight next? What do you think? Who had the best performance? Oh my goodness, great night of boxing. But what do I know?